It's to process the moment. Without an ego, we don't know that red is red. We don't know that hot is cold. We don't know what emotions we're feeling. We need an ego to be able to process those experiences. But the ego is only meant to process the present. It's not to then start going into the past and taking events that are not related. You know, that frame is not related to any other frames. So the ego is not supposed to go back and say, oh look, this happened before, therefore I'm going to project it forward that will happen again. Because the minute the ego starts getting out of the present moment and starts to get into linearity, it starts to get caught up in fear. So what we have to say to our ego is that we have this really important role. You have an amazing role. You have to be so focused in the present that I can become totally aware of everything that's going on around me. And when you do that, I can make the most amazing films. And the ego goes, really? Really? And now it feels empowered because it knows what its job is, and it knows if it deviates from that, it affects the function. It stops me from operating at my maximum. So all of these people that talk about suppressing their ego and eliminating their ego, the ego just fights. It says, no, I've got a job to do, I've got a job to do, and it won't go away. So now they're in battle with their own ego. You know, your higher self creates this ego as your processor so that you can comprehend the experiences you're having. It's like the filter and the absorber all at once. It's sort of there. It's really important. But if you allow it to do more beyond that, now it's going to start pulling you into fear-based linearities. Whereas if you can stay totally in the moment, allowing your ego to fulfill its function of absorbing everything, every sound, every light experience, then you can stay at your 5th level of awareness or more all the time because you're not being run by fear. And then the Dracos agenda just doesn't run through you. Well, the greatest thing to do is acknowledge that your higher self has actually chosen to be a part of this, to experience this, to experience the fear, and then to get through the fear. You know, you can't confront a fear by pushing it under the carpet and hoping it'll go away. You know, your fears are like a pack of hungry wolves. Eventually they're going to hunt you down and rip you to shreds. But if you stand up and you start running at that pack of wolves, they bolt because they're so scared that you're running at them. It's like a lion. If you run away from a lion, it's going to instinctively chase you. But if you run towards a lion, it backs off because it feels threatened. And that's what your fears are like. They're there for you to experience this. So by all means, go through, be terrified, horrified. It couldn't possibly be true. Denial, denial, fear, fear, fear. And then get through it and start to see the exciting aspect of it. Don't be attached to all the materialist things that are going on. Let go of them. Sell your house. Sell your property. You've got a month to do it. If you can, do it. And don't try to get market value for it. Don't be greedy. Sell it for a bargain. And you'll get a 1-week settlement. And then you can use that money to prepare if you want to prepare to be a part of the future. Because there are some people who will be a part of the future. A lot of people said, well, what's the point? If we're all going to die, what's the point? Well, the point is we're not all going to die. The point is some of us are going to survive with an awakened level of consciousness and be the beginnings of an extraordinary time on this planet. Well, I want to be part of that. That sounds amazing. The most important preparation for people to make is in their heart, which means they have to get out of their head, because your head will just propagate fears. So you have to get out of your head and get into your heart and allow your heart to be the ruler and say to the head, what do I need to do to prepare? It's not the head saying, what do I need to do, and the heart having to adjust. You go into your heart, a state of being, a state of love, and you say, right, I know what I'm here to do, I know what I'm meant to be, da-da-da-da-da. What do I need to do physically to prepare for that? And it will tell you to find somewhere safe, to plan ahead, you might find a support group, a survival group, etc., who are all like-minded. So the most important thing is to let go of all attachments, because all attachments are based in fear. Oh, I'm fearful I'm going to lose my car. I'm fearful I'm going to lose my job. I'm fearful I'm going to lose my partner. So we're attached emotionally to these things, and we have to just let it all go and just be in our heart, be in a state of love, and then follow our own guidance. And some people will be told that they need to prepare. But not to prepare out of fear of what's going to happen, but to prepare for what happens after these events. There are the higher dimensional aspects and beings who are going to be there to guide us through. That's if you are of human consciousness. See, the star racers who are here will just go back to their dimensional consciousness. That's why so many of the light workers think nothing's going to happen, it's just going to be a smooth transition. Well, it will be for them. They'll just leave their body. But the human consciousnesses won't. And that's why I say to people, you know, just go in, just make a decision. Have you come here from a star system? Have you all your life been connected to some sort of star race, whatever it may be, and always felt that you came from the stars and you're here for a reason, and you've been doing the sort of work to help people? Or do you feel that that's something that you're aspiring to do, that you're wanting to leave the earth, that you feel like you've achieved everything you need to do here and you're ready to embark on a journey beyond that? Because you'll be one or the other. No one is better than the other. This is the great thing. In the eyes of Source, no one is better than anyone else. Everyone plays their part in a film. You're a filmmaker. You know the person who holds the sound is just as important as the person who runs the camera. It's just as important as the director. It's just as important as the extra in the background drinking a cup of coffee. We all have different responsibilities, but we are all integral into the success of that film. And if one of us doesn't play our part right, the film is incomplete or doesn't function properly. And that's how Source sees everything. No ego. It's extraordinary. There's free energy. All the energy is based on magnetics, and it's all free. There's amazing creativity. There's a credible sense of community and love. There's no partnerships anymore. People are just part of the community. There's love. Children are looked after by everyone. It's an extraordinary time. It's everything that humanity aspires to be. And we're going to be helped rebuilding. You know, these fifth dimensional beings are going to help us rebuild. And we're also going to be able to manifest whatever we want. They're going to teach us and educate us how to fully use our powers of manifestation. It's an extraordinary time for the human consciousness. I'm not part of the human consciousness. I just happen to be in a human body. And there are other people like that as well. And we're here to help that human consciousness get through this. Why would you not want to be part of that? Why would you allow your fear to say, oh, well, I hope I'm one of the first who dies when it happens? And that's okay. If that's what your journey is, then that's what you can do. But what about your children? Why are you making a decision for them? Well, maybe they made the decision to come in to not have the decision. But everybody's fear will be pulled to the surface, because that's the only way you can deal with it. Everybody's fear will be pulled to the surface so they can deal with it. 99.9% of the population will stick their head in the sand and hope the whole thing will go away. But we know what happens when you get your head stuck in the sand. Your ass is stuck in the air and someone's going to come along and go. But we had to have that separation first for us to truly appreciate what that's going to be like. If we go into it and we don't know anything different, we don't have gratitude and appreciation for it. So we had to have had all of these shit times with all the separation and all the greed and the self-service and all that sort of stuff for us to truly appreciate what we're going to rebuild. This has been an important part of the process in the film. Where are we in the film? We're coming up to the final turning point, where everything starts to go absolutely haywire. The final turning point. This is the height point of the drama we're coming up to. And as a filmmaker, that's, you know, you structure everything around that. You've got to write a really brilliant opening to a film. And your best writing is at the end, because you have to tie everything in together. But your most creative aspect is that turning point. And that's where the most drama is that turning point. And that's where we are now.